Hello everyone, it's Rachel. Welcome back to Book and Bloom. As you guys can see, I'm in a slightly different location. This is actually my family's living room and my mom always decorates it for fall, very autumnal. So I thought it'd be fun to film in here while I have the house to myself right now. So today is a fun video because I'm breaking the rules. This is probably the video that nobody asked for, but I'm making it anyways because I want to. I am going to be talking about my favorite non-book related fall recommendations. So I'm going to be talking about movies, video games, music. I know that that's off-brand because my username is literally Book and Bloom, but that's why there's the and bloom part, right? There's room. There's room to talk about other things. So I hope that even though I don't have any book recommendations for you guys today, you guys will still enjoy this video. And if you do want some fall book recommendations, make sure to watch my previous video of this type, all my favorite book recommendations for fall, along with my actual TBR. Yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. I'm sure there's plenty of you out there who have no interest in playing video games, but I encourage you to maybe try something new and maybe try playing a video game for once, because not all video games are in the same category. There's so much variety of games. There's a lot of really great video games that are story focused. Those are my favorite type of video games, ones that are very story driven or have like a really pretty art style or a really cool game mechanic. A lot of these are very casual, very cute, very cozy games, and I do have also some spooky games too that are just fun to play. Let's go ahead and get into the video game. So first off, I have A Short Hike. It has a very cute art style. I wouldn't say this game is super story driven, but it's just a very fun and cozy experience because you're playing this bird and you get to fly around this beautiful landscape, and there's pretty trees and mountains and water. So this is like the perfect game if you want to kind of experience what it would be like to be able to go on a pretty hike somewhere with beautiful scenery. And it's just adorable because you're living in this world where animals are like people, and so they have a little town there, and you are getting to know the main character a little bit. There is a little bit of a storyline to it, but I think this game is mainly about exploring and doing these tiny little missions that you find throughout the world. So moving on, the next game I think might be inspired by A Short Hike. It's Lil Gator Game. Now this is another really cute game. I haven't completed this game, but it's about this little kid who's a gator, and he's trying to get his older sister's attention. And she's just very busy with school and she has her priorities. And so she no longer has the time that she used to have to spend with her little brother playing games and playing pretend. And so the goal of this game is basically he's trying to do all of these little quests, sort of, you know, taking pictures of it and filming it and whatever, and then sending it to your older sister, trying to get her to join you and to play with you again. And so it just has a really adorable concept, and the characters are really cute because you're playing with some of your friends throughout this little scenic area. There's these cardboard cutouts of like monsters and stuff that you're supposed to beat up. So this game is just really cute, and it has a similar feel to A Short Hike. But yeah, so another really cute game. This one's kind of cozy and has a little bit of a story to it. Next up, I would say this one is very story driven, Night in the Woods. This one's not really about the gameplay, but more about the story, and you have a few opportunities to make decisions and you get to pick your characters' responses to things. This game is so good. I haven't been mentioning, I will definitely make sure to leave all the information in the description about where you can play these games. They're all on different platforms. There's just a lot of weird things kind of going on at this town. You begin to kind of figure out the mystery of why she's back at her hometown, what happened with her, where she was before that, what's going on, and you start to kind of slowly uncover some of the mysteries that are going on at her small town. And she's reconnecting with her old friends, and one day they just find a severed arm outside a diner. So this game definitely has some dark themes to it. I mean, it's still kind of a cutesy game, but it's definitely a darker game. So this is perfect for like Halloween because you've got a really interesting storyline. You've got a little bit of like a creepy what's going on in this small town feel to it. In this game, you're playing as animals. I mean, most of the games that I like to play, you're playing as animals. You're playing in a world where animals are people. A recurring theme I see in a lot of the games I like to play. But yeah, this one just has a really good storyline. I love the characters. I love the art style. I love the feel of the game. It's very cozy and then at times spooky, and there's a really interesting mystery to it. There are some fun like little mini games throughout the game. One of the things in the storyline, your friends have a band and you're helping them again, and you're playing bass again, and I am terrible at those mini games. I pretty much always fail them. Oh, and that's another fun element is, well, there's lots of fun elements, but there's like a journal, and by doing certain things you fill out your journal. This game is just highly recommended. I would just say that this is probably more for teenagers, because some of the content is more mature. I would think that this is like teen. I feel like this might be a teen game, but I feel like the other two games are definitely E for everyone. Okay, so moving on, let me give you a premise. Have you ever wanted to play as a bear who had a bed and breakfast? Isn't that you? It's gotta be you, right? Like, you wanted to do those, right? Well, you can, because there's a game called Bear and Breakfast where you are playing as a bear and you are opening bed and breakfasts. So this game is cozy, it's fun, I mean, I guess there is a little bit of a storyline to it, I will say, but I think the main draw of this game is just the fun element of decorating these little houses, collecting items, improving your bed and breakfasts, opening up new locations, exploring the area. I mean, sometimes you do have little quests where you're interacting with different characters, but this game is it's just so cute. I love the art style. It's so cozy. If you don't have easy access to the time, you might end up spending hours and hours playing this game and not realize it. Need I say more? I don't think so. I don't think. This one I think is also an E for everyone kind of game. If you're suggesting any of these to younger audiences, definitely make sure to look up the rating yourselves and just, you know, just in case. Next up is Beacon Pines. Now this game has a similar feel to Night in the Woods, but this game I think takes kind of the element of your decisions have weight to them and kind of like the butterfly effect, sort of multiple endings. I feel like this game does that even more than Night in the Woods. Night in the Woods still feels pretty linear, but this game, there's so many different endings, there's so many different paths to the story. I was so invested in this game that I legitimately, like, I was playing it on my brother's Xbox and I was so invested in the storyline that I ended up buying a copy on my PC so I could play it and I could finish it because I had to go home to school and I needed to finish this game. I needed to know like all of the endings. I needed to know. So this game, I will say, it's not quite as mature as Night in the Woods, but it does have some dark elements to it. So I think this is more of like an E10+. It has more of a spooky feel to it than like a scary or creepy feel to it, if that makes sense. This game has an adorable art style. I was kind of unsure initially about how I felt about the art style. Again, this is you're playing as animals. But I think I only have like 2 or 3 games on this list that you're playing as people. You are playing as little kids and they're investigating some of the weird things going on in their small town, kind of similar to Night in the Woods. But this game definitely takes some interesting turns. I remember playing it and I was literally like, oh my gosh. I feel like if you like Beacon Pines, then play Night in the Woods. If you like Night in the Woods, play Beacon Pines. They both have a similar feel to it. It's very different, of course, because you're playing teenagers, young adult teenagers in Night in the Woods. And then of course you're playing as children in Beacon Pines. Not as dark. It has some dark themes to it, but it's not quite as dark and like creepy as Night in the Woods. There's a fridge. You'll probably hear the fridge making ice and stuff in the background. I love this game. I absolutely loved this game. It was so cool. All of the different endings. It was crazy. Highly recommend this game. So moving on, these are going to be kind of more honorary mentions in the sense that, like, if you haven't heard of these games, I think you're living under a rock, but just in case you haven't heard of these games, Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing. You need to play these games. Stardew Valley, you have farming, it's so cozy, it's so cute. What's more fall vibes than farming? I don't know. I don't know. But that game is perfect. I mean, perfect for all year round, but I feel like especially fall is like, because it's so cozy. And then Animal Crossing, I mean, do I need to say anything about Animal Crossing? I mean, if you play it this time of year, you will have autumn leaves. You get to decorate, you get to talk to cute villagers, there's so much to do, you collect and explore. Like, I feel like Stardew Valley, you could play all day long because it has its own time system in the game. With Animal Crossing, you're playing in real time. It's one of those games that is designed for you to play a little bit every day and to play at certain times, and like, you know, maybe you'll play in the morning a little bit and then you'll play a little bit in the evening. It's kind of one of those games. And so that's why a lot of people mess with the time when they're playing Animal Crossing. You could easily just get distracted and end up playing for way too long. Okay, so moving on. Next up, another cozy game, Coffee Talk. This game is another perfect game for, I mean, all of these are perfect for fall. That's the point of this video, I'm sorry. This game, you are playing as a barista and you just get to talk to people and you get to make them coffee. Perfect for like this season because you're actually interacting with like spooky people, like werewolves and vampires and all of that. So you live in this world where, you know, people are just spooky. And there's also like normal people. There's also normal humans. You're serving coffee to like werewolves and vampires and, you know, strange humans who have green hair, like, you know, and you're just talking to them, getting to know their story, and you get to kind of, some of them you get to kind of help them through their story. Maybe there's certain things they're struggling with. You're almost like a bartender in that sense, but you're a coffee bartender. And I love the element of making coffee because it just is so fun and cozy. And it's set in Seattle, which I absolutely love. One of my favorite cities in the world, Seattle. It's so cozy. I mean, of course, that's the perfect setting for a coffee video game. I mean, it's like the coffee place. Moving on, we have Hogwarts Legacy. Now, if you love Harry Potter, you need to play this game. You do. You need to play this game. You know, if you don't have a console yourself, find a friend who does. Buy yourself a copy and demand that they let you play your game onto their console. I don't know. Okay, it is on PC. So if you don't have a console, you could definitely play it on your PC. Anything that you would want in a Harry Potter game, this game has it. You can make potions, you can explore the world, you can collect fantastic beasts, you can learn all sorts of spells, you can ride your broom. I mean, you can't play Quidditch. Okay, I know that might offend you. There is going to be a Quidditch game though. That's what I've heard. I've heard that's the reason why they didn't put that in this game, because they wanted a whole game dedicated to Quidditch, and I think that would be like a free-to-play game. That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true. Let that slide. It's okay. It has everything else that you would want in a Harry Potter game. And it has a very compelling story, super interesting storyline. I have not been able to really keep up with it because my time that I get to play my game is so spread out that I don't know what's going on half the time. I will say that, but I love the characters, I love the quests, I love, like, you can go to Hogsmeade. You could go to Hogsmeade. I have so many nifflers. I have a unicorn. I have a hippogriff. I have a broom, and I can fly around. And there's just so many fun things to do in this game. It is just crazy. I've played an outrageous amount of hours playing this game, and I've barely scratched the surface. I have not even finished the storyline because I've been so distracted by side quests because the side quests are so fun. There's so much to do in this game. If you love Harry Potter, you will absolutely love this game. And if you don't like Harry Potter that much, I feel like you could love this game too, because if you just like fantasy and magic, this game has so much fun elements, and like the combat's really fun. It's great. It's great. You need to play it. I mean, even customization, just making your own person. Oh my gosh, the Hufflepuff common area. I love it. I want to live there. I love exploring Hogwarts. It is just, it's amazing. And if you haven't played Lego Harry Potter, you also need to play Lego Harry Potter. That game is amazing too. That's just a bonus recommendation. Now taking kind of a 180, we're going into horror. The one game on here that I will say is a horror game, SOMA. This game, you might be surprised that I played this game because I've talked about how I don't really like horror that much. I like this game because it's not really like gross. You're not gonna stumble upon these like grotesque, you know, bloody scenes or whatever that you would maybe expect from like a horror game. It's more like just really like creepy amalgamations of robot people. It's set underwater. You're super deep underwater, and this game has such an interesting theme to it. Like, I absolutely love this game just because of how insane the themes and the topics that this game talks about what it means to be human. And the ending is so crazy. I feel like the ending alone, just that scene, makes the whole game so worth it because it is just so mind blending. It's so creepy, but it's so fun to play. I feel like this is a great game to play with a friend who also likes spooky, scary games. Creepy, but I like that it doesn't go too far because I feel like sometimes with horror, I can't handle, you know, bloody, gross, grotesque, demonic. I don't like that side of horror. I like more of the thriller, you know, like this monster or this weird humanoid person is, you know, patrolling and you just have to hide and navigate through this creepy setting. Like, that's my kind of horror with an interesting, really interesting, you know, storyline. This game is amazing. It's so dang good. And I would love to just talk about, like, with spoilers, talk about it, but I'm not going to spoil it. You just need to play it. You might have nightmares. I really hope you don't. You might have nightmares playing this game, but it's not going to give you trauma. I feel like this is not a game that would give you trauma like there are, like, I don't know, like Outlast. I feel like that game could give you trauma because it's just so messed up. But this game is just, it's creepy, it's scary, it's thrilling, but you're probably not going to have to see a therapist after playing this game. Moving on with the spooky theme, we have Little Nightmares 1 and 2. This game is, I feel like this game gives me like Studio Ghibli, but make it creepy. It's got a cute element to it, which I know sounds really weird to have in a scary game, because you're playing this like really tiny person, but it is so creepy and so atmospheric and so fun and so mysterious. I absolutely love both of these games so much. This game is really scary, I would say, especially because I feel like the aesthetic of it might come across as something that, like, I don't know, initially you might think like anyone could play, but it does get really creepy for what it does. It manages to be creepy without going too far. What if I just want to be spooked, but I don't want to be traumatized? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. This game, it has the amazing aesthetic, it has a really mysterious setting, a very mysterious storyline. I love this game. It has so much lore to it. It's so cool. You need to play it. Moving on, we have What Remains of Edith Finch. This game I think is perfect for fall because it does have kind of a dark, moody theme to it, but also kind of that family aspect, kind of that Thanksgiving kind of brings in with fall, because you are going to this girl's family home and you're just kind of exploring the house and you're reflecting on kind of your family's experiences. And the dark element is that you're basically reliving what led to their death. They all have these really bizarre ways of dying, whimsical deaths, which I know sounds really weird, but you just have to play this game. It has like a sweet feel to it, very cozy feel to it. You're playing these mini games, these different mini games, and sometimes they have different art styles, and it's just very whimsical and silly. Think about like Dumb Ways to Die. You know how like that short took a very morbid topic and made it into like this funny thing. I feel like this game kind of does that same sort of thing where it's taking a dark, morbid topic of death and making it into this kind of whimsical, witty, fun experience. And you just slowly are getting to know the family, getting to know the main character, kind of piecing together her family tree. It's a great game for fall. And last but not least, before my camera dies, the epitome of a Halloween video game, you have Costume Quest, where you're playing as little kids who are dressing up in different costumes during Halloween, and there is I'm pretty sure it's a witch or someone who is creepy monster person shows up in their neighborhood. They're trying to kidnap children, and the characters that you're playing as, they're teaming up together with their friends and they're gonna fight back against these bad monsters, exploring these different areas, collecting different items to make different costumes. Each costume you get different abilities, and you have like a party that you can assign different costumes and give them different abilities. It's just a really cute storyline. You're collecting candy throughout the whole story and you're beating up bad guys, you're beating up monsters, and it's set during Halloween, so it's perfect. Just saying, it's perfect for Halloween, perfect for fall. So those are all the video games. Probably more rapid fire, share my movie and TV show recommendations. So we have Ratatouille, the best movie all year round in my opinion. It's one of my favorite Disney movies. But it also is very fall because it's cooking, and I think it is set maybe during fall. I think there's a scene where Remy is running and you could see fall leaves, and it's just very cozy. I mean, the theme of cooking I think is very cozy. We have Fantastic Mr. Fox, the epitome of a fall movie because, I was gonna say read, a fall movie because of all the coloring, and it's just very cute because it's a adaptation of a children's story. It's witty, it's funny, it's heartwarming, it's Wes Anderson, so it's visually stunning. You need to watch this movie if you have not watched this movie. Little Women, because it's such a cozy, sweet, moody movie, it just feels like a good movie to watch in fall. School of Rock. I feel like this movie is perfect for fall because it is set, you know, in a school, so you've got the school vibes, and it's hilarious, and there's rock music, and there's Jack Black. It's amazing. This is my family's like favorite movie. We are constantly quoting it. It is just amazing. The music's great. It's hilarious. I love it. I love this movie. Ella Enchanted, Anne Hathaway, fantasy, whimsical, witty. It's amazing. And then as for TV shows, all of these are like animated. If you need a live action show to watch, Stranger Things, Last of Us, those are, I guess, my live action. For animated shows, I have Over the Garden Wall, This has a beautiful art style, super cute storyline, has kind of a spooky element to it, and is very mysterious and very interesting storyline to it. We have Gravity Falls, likewise kind of has a very complex, dark, interesting storyline to it. Great art style, funny. This one's a little bit more, well, I guess they're both comedic. As for anime, I do like anime, which I kind of want to do a video about anime because I know that there's plenty of people who are kind of scared of anime or just very turned off by it. And I initially was before I started watching it myself, but Promised Neverland and Erased, I feel like I don't have enough time to go into all the details of these animes, but they're just amazing. They have a darkness to them. They're very interesting, very compelling. I would say for Promised Neverland, there's 2 seasons, but I feel like the first season is my favorite, and the second one's kind of, you can go without watching the second season. Erased is just 1 season, so these are not that long of shows, and I really like that they have an ending. It's a complete story. It's not one of those stories that can go on forever and ever and ever. I think makes it very compelling and just well planned and well written. Yeah, these both have different feels to them, but they have kind of a similar feel because they're both dealing with children basically being in danger and trying to fight back against that in different ways. They both kind of have that going, but they're very different. So like Promised Neverland is more fantasy, while Erased it's got like a magical element to it, but it's mainly real world. Moving on for movies, for spooky movies, The Boy, Before I Wake, those are like spooky kind of creepy movies, perfect for like if you want to watch a scary movie that's not too scary. And then if you want like a mystery that is creepy and dark, Pale Blue Eye, this one's inspired by Edgar Allan Poe. This one actually has Edgar Allan Poe in it. He's a character in this mystery, and it's Christian Bale, and it's just very, you know, grungy and creepy. And then if you want more of a lighthearted murder mystery, then we have See How They Run. This one's very comedic, not as dark. It almost feels like a Wes Anderson, like if Wes Anderson made a whodunit, it kind of has that feel, like dry humor, witty. It's got Saoirse Ronan in it, like it's great. And then 2 movies that I want to watch for fall. The Haunting in Venice, this is an Agatha Christie movie. It's got Hercule Poirot in it, and it's inspired by Halloween Party. And then also I do really want to watch the new Five Nights at Freddy's when it comes out. It's been a part of my childhood, just like watching gameplay. I don't know, I definitely fell down those rabbit holes of watching different people play Five Nights at Freddy's whenever they came out, and just being so, you know, intrigued by the storyline. So I just feel like I have to see the movie. There's just been so much anticipation for this movie. And then moving on to music, this is going to be kind of a rapid fire. These are all albums. Leave What's Lost Behind by Colony House, Dreamland by Coin, Harmony House by Dayglow, Kindred by Passion Pit, Smoke and Mirrors by Imagine Dragons. And then for kind of spooky, Halloween-y playlist, you have Possession by Joywave, and then kind of more of the grungy punk side, we have Conditions of a Punk by Half Alive. These all kind of have moodiness to them, themes of change, themes of introspection. I mean, these are like some of my favorite albums, so these are all kind of like indie, alternative, indie pop. They all kind of fall into that category, and you know, each of them have different sounds to them. That's like my personal favorite genre typically is like rock, indie pop, indie alternative. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing some of those recommendations. Let me know if you try any of them out yourself. I'd also love to hear some of your fall recommendations for video games, movies. Yeah, just what are you guys enjoying this fall season? Thank you guys so much for watching. Read, book, and bloom on. Bye!